Question. In the United States, lung cancer has the highest incidence rate among cancers and also the highest mortality rate. However, in your lecture, you mentioned that cancer is closely related to attachment or stubbornness. Could you specify which types of attachment or stubbornness are particularly linked to lung cancer? Answer. People tend to perceive cancer in a peculiar way, but we are currently in a time when cancer is at its peak. What about 30 years ago? At that time, it was somewhat less prevalent. What about 50 years ago? It was even less prevalent back then. So, what is the difference between the times when cancer was less common and now, when it is more widespread? When people live in a smooth and harmonious way, cancer does not proliferate as much. However, even in such times, cancer still appears among those who live with a certain intensity or rigidity. Now, what kind of era are we in? Humanity has undergone periods of evolution since arriving on this planet. Was cancer prevalent during these evolutionary periods? Not particularly. The evolutionary phase constitutes about 30% of human history. This means that after the emergence of humans, the evolutionary stage spanned hundreds of thousands of years. But then came the growth phase. The growth phase extends from 30% to 70%, meaning that growth occurs rapidly over a relatively short period, about 70 to 100 years. This phase saw significant human progress in a short time, in contrast to the slow evolutionary process. As we transitioned from animals to humans during evolution, the growth phase required people to become true humans. As people progressed, they were expected to live lives of higher quality. However, if they failed to do so, various illnesses, including cancer, emerged as a result. Diseases do not arise randomly, they result from conflicts and imbalances. The more we grow, the more we should strive to live in a way that maintains high quality in life. However, when people continue to live with conflict, competition, and discord, similar to animals, diseases follow. Cancer, tumors, and various illnesses manifest as consequences of these imbalances. So, how can one prevent such illnesses? By living a life of high quality. When we maintain a high level of well-being, diseases may come and go without significant harm. The recent COVID-19 pandemic demonstrated this principle. Those who lived in alignment with a high-quality life experienced the virus like a mild cold, while those with weakened states suffered greatly. If we do not strengthen our immunity, more challenges will arise. Nature does not attack those who live righteously, rather, it obstructs those who do not align with its principles. Thus, boosting immunity is essential, which translates to improving the quality of life. This applies not only to cancer but to all aspects of health. People often accumulate material wealth, knowledge, and talents, but if they misuse these assets, conflicts arise. Disease does not simply emerge, it results from unresolved issues. If one merely seeks temporary solutions through medication or scientific interventions, these are only stopgap measures rather than true healing. To truly recover, one must identify and address the root cause. The source of illness often lies in struggles faced within family, friendships, and communities. If these conflicts are not resolved, stress accumulates, leading to more serious conditions. Many seek comfort in religion, but without addressing the fundamental issues, these problems evolve into chronic diseases. Eventually, when left untreated, they lead to accidents or severe health conditions. This is why hospitals primarily offer temporary relief rather than complete cures. When cancer appears, it signifies a fundamental imbalance in life. If one merely treats the affected area without changing their way of living, the disease will return, if not as the same type of cancer, then as another illness. True healing requires a complete transformation of lifestyle. Otherwise, recurring health issues are inevitable. A person's frustrations often stem from interactions with loved ones, friends, or society. If these sources of distress are not addressed, they accumulate and manifest as illness. Before becoming a patient, one experiences ongoing discomfort and stress. This stress, if ignored, leads to more severe health conditions. When an illness has reached a critical stage, it signifies that one has consistently ignored these signs of distress. Hospitals provide temporary relief, but they do not offer the deeper transformation needed to prevent recurrence. Long-term healing requires education, learning how to live in harmony with oneself and society. Without education that fosters proper living, temporary relief is just a delay, and the issue will re-emerge in a different form. This is why some people become regular patients, continuously suffering from new ailments. Thus, health problems should not be viewed in isolation. They should be understood in the context of the larger natural and social order. Those who have acquired knowledge and success often owe their advantages to the sacrifices of others. A truly knowledgeable person must, in turn, contribute positively to society. If they fail to do so, nature imposes consequences. This is the principle of universal balance. Many people misunderstand natural law and divine will. Nature does not punish arbitrarily. It simply follows a system where those who fail to grow and progress become stagnant. Stagnation leads to decay, just as a standing body of water becomes foul over time. Humans must continuously evolve, seek higher understanding, and contribute meaningfully to society. Higher quality living involves meaningful speech and action. Words shape society and influence the world. If one speaks with wisdom and insight, they contribute positively to society. However, if one speaks without purpose or spreads negativity, they create disruptions. A person's words should always aim to improve and guide others. In summary, diseases, including cancer, should not be viewed in isolation. They are signals indicating the need for transformation. Instead of focusing solely on curing the disease, one must examine their life holistically and prepare for a better way of living. Those who prepare properly will naturally be led to the right path. When people live only to survive, without considering growth and purpose, they fail to fulfill their human potential. Such a life is akin to that of an animal. Humans must rise above mere survival and strive for meaningful existence. One's role should be to assist and uplift others, ultimately becoming a disciple of higher principles. True discipleship means embracing knowledge and using it to guide others. Those who fail to do so, continuing to cling to selfish desires, create difficulties not only for themselves but for society as a whole. The true path is one of continuous learning, growth, and service to others. By doing so, one aligns with the natural order and lives a life of high quality, free from unnecessary suffering. 1. Medical perspective analysis. 1. Approach to the causes of cancer. The article explains that cancer is not simply caused by genetic or environmental factors but is also closely related to lifestyle and mental attitude. Modern medicine identifies the main causes of cancer as genetic mutations, environmental factors, smoking, pollution, radiation, etc., immune dysfunction, chronic inflammation, and stress. Scientific evidence supports the idea that psychological stress and chronic mental burden can lead to hormonal imbalances, weakened immunity, and increased cellular inflammation, thereby increasing the risk of cancer. However, it is difficult to conclude that cancer directly results from a decline in quality of life, or the principle of natural balance. 2. Lung cancer and emotional factors. Lung cancer is one of the most prevalent and deadly cancers worldwide. The primary causes include smoking, over 80%, air pollution, and genetic factors, while stress and life attitudes are not considered major causes. However, chronic stress and negative emotions can activate the autonomic nervous system, sympathetic nervous activation, suppress the immune system, and increase inflammatory responses, which may raise the risk of cancer. The article suggests that obsession and stubbornness are linked to lung cancer, but this claim is not scientifically proven, though emotional stress could be a related factor. 3. Disease prevention and immune system enhancement. Boosting immunity is a crucial factor in cancer prevention, and this requires a balanced diet, regular exercise, and a positive lifestyle. The article states that improving quality of life can prevent disease, which can be interpreted as emphasizing the importance of strengthening immunity through healthy habits. However, cancer prevention requires a multifaceted approach, and the simplistic idea that living correctly prevents illness lacks scientific rigor. 2. Analysis from a life mentor perspective. 1. Modern society and the increase in diseases. The article discusses why cancer has increased in modern society, and this is scientifically accurate. Factors such as pollution, stress, processed foods, sedentary lifestyles, smoking, and increased alcohol consumption contribute to higher cancer rates. Additionally, the rising average lifespan means that the probability of developing cancer has naturally increased. Thus, rather than assuming that lower quality of life has caused more cancer, it is essential to recognize that environmental and lifestyle changes play a significant role. 2. Relationship between life attitude and disease. The article emphasizes the connection between life attitudes and illness, suggesting that negative emotions like conflict, competition, and obsession contribute to disease. Studies do exist that show psychological factors can affect health. Chronic stress weakens the immune system, increasing the risk of not only cancer but also cardiovascular diseases and diabetes. A positive life attitude promotes the secretion of healthy hormones, e.g., serotonin, endorphins, which help strengthen the immune system. However, explaining cancer solely through life attitudes may impose unnecessary guilt on patients. 3. Philosophical perspective on disease. The article suggests that disease is not merely a biological issue but an opportunity to reflect on life. This perspective can be understood as seeing illness as a lesson, encouraging patients to reassess their lives. However, if patients believe their disease resulted solely from their life choices, it may cause emotional distress. Effective cancer treatment requires not only modern medical approaches but also psychological and emotional support. 3. Conclusion and advice. 1. Medical perspective. Checkmark. Cancer results from a combination of genetics, environment, immunity, and lifestyle factors, and a direct causal relationship with life attitude is difficult to establish. Checkmark. However, chronic stress, negative emotions, and social isolation can weaken immunity, increasing the risk of cancer. Checkmark. Cancer prevention requires a healthy diet, exercise, stress management, and regular medical checkups. 2. Life mentors advice. Checkmark. Enhancing quality of life and maintaining a positive attitude are essential not only for disease prevention but also for overall well-being. Checkmark. However, assuming that illness results solely from personal faults or lifestyle choices may place an unnecessary burden on patients. Checkmark. Cancer treatment should go beyond physical care to include emotional and social healing. Checkmark. Disease is not just an unfortunate event but can also be an opportunity for self-reflection and positive transformation. Final summary. This article interprets cancer not just as a disease but as something connected to lifestyle and mental attitude. Modern medicine recognizes that cancer has multiple causes, making it insufficient to explain it purely through life attitudes. However, psychological stress and negative emotions are acknowledged as factors that weaken immunity and increase disease risk. Therefore, cancer prevention and treatment require healthy habits, stress management, a positive mindset, and regular checkups. Additionally, cancer patients should receive not just medical treatment but also emotional support and approaches that improve their quality of life.